This is Yogesh Chabria, and I always tell people, if you truly have something, you don't need to prove anything to anybody. And what do I mean by this? I'm reminded of a beautiful story I've heard of Henry Ford. And once Henry Ford was visiting England, he'd come from America, he was visiting England, he was visiting London. And one person was there, one of his representatives in London, and he asked this representative, can you recommend me a nice, cheap hotel? I want the cheapest hotel. It should be nice, but it should also be cheap. And Henry Ford was dressed very simply. And now his representative was very surprised. He told him, Mr. Ford, I'm very surprised. You are Mr. Henry Ford. You're one of the wealthiest people in the world. Why are you firstly dressed so simply? And secondly, why do you want the cheapest hotel? Whenever your son comes here, your son is always dressed very opulently, and he always asks us, which is the most expensive hotel where I could stay in. And Henry Ford started laughing. He said, no matter what I wear, no matter which hotel I go to, I am still Henry Ford. And I can't say the same about my son. And this is such a beautiful story because Henry Ford had nothing to prove to anybody. He didn't have to prove to anybody he's wealthy or he's successful. And that's why he was comfortable with himself. And that happens to people. If you're truly wealthy, you don't need to prove to anybody you're wealthy. You will probably be very discreet about your wealth. If you're truly intelligent, now you don't need to prove to anybody that you're intelligent. If you're truly comfortable with yourself, you don't need to prove anything to the external world. And what happens with a lot of people, they are constantly trying to prove to the external world how wealthy they are, how successful they are, how intelligent they are. But in that process, they end up losing whatever they're trying to prove. What do I mean by this? Let us say you're trying to prove to the world you're wealthy. If you're trying to prove to the world you're wealthy, you will end up losing your wealth. Whatever wealth you have, you'll end up losing. It's happened so many times. Over a period of time, you observe people, they will take debts, they'll take loans, they'll take so many things to buy an expensive car, an expensive house, which they cannot afford it. And in the process, they lose their peace of mind. They lose their comfort. They lose their ability to be comfortable with themselves. This is what happens. So if you truly want something, work towards it, work in silence, work with dedication, work with love, but be comfortable with yourself. Wherever you are right now, be comfortable with yourself and develop yourself from within. Stop trying to prove yourself, because trying to prove yourself is an unending race. You will never be able to prove yourself to anybody. But on the other hand, if you truly have wealth, if you truly have intelligence, if you truly have power, if you're truly happy from within, people can sense it. The moment you walk into a room, it doesn't matter what you're wearing, people can sense it. Take care, enjoy your evening or your day, and I shall see you soon.